Okay, this is my screencast resource share for 11/16th, it would have been. And this is a resource that I just found. I kind of Googled some things because I work in early childhood, so it's important for me to really find some things that have to do with early childhood and how I can bring math to life. And so this is called mathathome.earlymathcounts.org, and I absolutely love it. I had no idea it existed, so I am super excited about this. So this is kind of the home page, and then it talks about what it is here for, and so trying to close that achievement gap and just kind of a foundational thing and why they want to do it. So knowledge and skills to teach early math, promote math literacy, develop math skills, and just to create a world of math literate. And I think I've brought this up before, but a lot of times we become like, say your ABCs, and let's talk about the sounds that we hear when we're going down the road, or there's a tree. What sound does that start with? Tree. But we don't talk about math in the same way. So I found that this a really great website to show that. And then it has in here like setting up your math environment, which for early childhood teachers can be sometimes difficult. So there's videos of how you can build math into your routines, and setting up your space to make it work for you, whether it's toddlers or preschool, which would be very different. And then finding the right materials in order to set up your math area. Now my targeted area is number sense and geometry, so the thing that I also like about this is being able to find math lessons to go with that. But to back up just a little bit, it talks about when we set up our environment, one thing I want to talk about is we do Eckers. And so that is kind of a really rich way to get your environment built up naturally. And so that kind of stands for early childhood environmental rating scales, and so we have to have a really rich math environment, but this gave some fresh ideas to that to be able to use in our daily routine, which I really like. And then to get to kind of the meat of this, so it says find a math lesson for infants, toddlers, preschoolers by title, by materials, by standards. It's got the Illinois standards on here, and then the map, and it has the NCTM standards, which I thought was really great for the class too. But so I would click on for preschoolers. That's kind of my jam, and go into I think the one I looked at was circles and bears, but any of these. So circles and bears was number sense, counting, and dice roll. Let's see if I can get into it. So then it tells you right here, like toddlers and preschools, numbers and operations. They meet the following educational standards, you understand numbers, ways of representing numbers. And so that does match with our early learning guidelines standards also. And then after this lesson, toddlers and preschools will be. And so it's got your objectives or what your targeted areas are. So counting, matching, die roll to counters. And you can print it, and I liked the connect with families. Learning activities from today's lesson with your daycare families or with your families that are in your classroom. So then you can just download this. Let's see if it will pop up. I was having trouble with it earlier. And then you can just tell parents what you did today and how it works. So the game that you played. You could do this with Cheerios, Fruit Loops, Goldfish, crackers, pretzels, grapes. Kind of maybe a supper or snack time. You could do this activity during your own snack time within your classroom too. Or you can just play it with anything that you have in the house. You know, pennies, bears, grapes, stuffed animals, whatever your children have. So it's kind of a fun, and you can make it seasonal too. Like you could get turkeys out at this time of year. So I really liked that. Let me pull it back up here. So close out of that, and then you can comment on the lesson or you can share it. So if you have a colleague or a friend or a daycare provider that you're like, hey, here's something that you can do. So it just kind of starts out with giving you the lessons, how you would introduce it. It's just a really great resource, and I can't believe I have not found it. So I was actually really excited about it and shared it with some of my colleagues during one of our meetings today. Early Math Matters is professional development area. There's resources over here. Oh, come on, open up. There we go. Okay, so then resources by age, by type, by math apps. So if you're looking for something that you want your kiddos to do, whether it's at home or maybe a math center or a computer center, math books that are really great to read. So I love that because sometimes it's hard to find good math books. And then math videos, pre-kindergarten to third grade, and New Beginning for American Education. So it talks about that movement and how we can close that math gap. And there was another space here. Where was it? Increase your knowledge, I believe it was in. I love this. So learn the math concepts you need to teach young children. So whatever your targeted area is, data and probability, geometry, measuring, and number sense. So then you can click on this video and it kind of gives you a way to talk about number sense with kids. So then you can play it. They're all pretty short. None of them are very long.
Agree that we have
so
number sense,
it just kind of tells you about number sense and excuse me, happen for do that for profit to was on here. You can go buy if I want to do an operation preschool. This work for me. So I don't know what October balls to a blank the tiles and bears. Circle talking a game all into really cool to hear things childhood and this would curriculum. So I how to get out of